Hi everyone, welcome to the video. This one is how to survive Freshers Week as an academic. Hi, welcome to our little academic channel here on YouTube. My name is Caroline. I'm a UK-based physics senior lecturer, and I'm still quite proud about saying the word senior. So it is about to be the start of a new academic year. As I speak, students are moving into their on-campus accommodation. It's going to be a really busy next couple of weeks. And I'm about to embark on Freshers Week. So sometimes it's called Freshers Week, sometimes it's called Welcome Week. It's the time where the new students, so typically the year one undergraduates, turn up on campus and get familiar with everything and whereabouts everything is. And it is busy. There are loads of videos out there on how to survive Freshers Week or Welcome Week if you are a student. There's not many out there on how you survive it if you are an academic. So that's the content of this week's video. As a lecturer, as a professor, how do you get through Welcome Week? Every university is going to do their Freshers Week or their Welcome Week slightly differently. Typically, though, it will be a mixture of campus activities. So ones to do with the research departments, the departments that the students are joining, things to do with their accommodation, sports, societies, recreational activities, and it's usually a really jam-packed programme. Now, as an academic, it's really important to be involved in this week if you can, because it's the first chance to meet the students. I'm the admissions tutor at my university. I've just finished my last year of being admissions tutor. So it means I know a lot of the students that will be arriving for the physics department because, I was involved in their UCAS journey. However, going forwards, I might not have such a close link to the new incoming students. So this is your first chance as an academic tutor to get to see the new cohort for your department. That's not to say, though, that you need to go to every single activity. This is, at least for me, still a really busy time getting ready for the academic semester. So this Welcome Week comes before the main teaching semester starts. And I'm still getting a few bits and pieces ready for the actual academic term of teaching. I've also got new PhD students arriving and starting. I'm also involved in a couple of research grant applications going out at the moment. I'm doing a few media bits as well. So really, you can't give over your whole week necessarily to the Welcome Week activities, but it's giving over some fraction of your time and then working out how many activities you want to be involved with or need to be involved with. I'll give you then a flavour of what my Welcome Week looks like at my university. So for the physics students, they're going to be arriving on Monday. They'll have some familiarisation tours, I think, at the campus and the department. And the first time I'll actively be involved in the Welcome Week is with an escape room activity. So we're taking our new physics cohort, our new undergraduate level 1 students, and we're doing an escape room experience in the afternoon. There's a few academic tutors. We're going to divide into teams. It should be quite a fun interactive activity. We get to meet a few of the new students. They get to meet us. We've done it so that quite a few of the year 1 tutors are going to that activity, so that it means when year 1 starts their formal lectures the next week, they'll already have seen a few of our faces. So that should be a good fun activity. I think later on in the week there is a picnic going ahead. The weather's been a bit up and down in the UK. One second it's really hot and the next second it's chucking it down with rain. So hopefully there'll be a dry session for them to have a picnic down by the lake. I'm having then a session later in the week where I meet my new personal tutees. I have made past videos about this. I will put a link below in the description box. Typically, I will meet my new undergraduate students in one session, and I'll have a group meeting so they get to meet each other as well. And then I'll also meet my master students, so I'll get new master students to look after. They may be international, so some of them will be on campus already, some of them will still be making their journeys wherever they're coming into the UK. So I might not meet all my master students in that first Welcome Week, but I should hopefully meet some of them. Also running during our Welcome Week in the department, there will be a kind of a welcome lecture. It's not really a welcome to the department lecture, it's more a fun physics lecture. We all go along to hear this lecture. It's given by one of the colleagues in the physics department. And then after that, we come back. So the department members come back, the staff from the PhD students will come back, and the new first years will come back. And we'll have like a reception afterwards with some drinks and some nibbles. So again, it's a chance to kind of mix and socialise and get to know each other a bit. So as a staff member, this can be quite intensive. These activities can happen towards the back end of the day, these kind of social ones, receptions. And it can obviously be tricky if you've got childcare responsibilities or wider activities that are pulling you away out of those kind of hours. So not every academic member of staff can go to every session, every event. That's why I say as an academic member, you sort of need to pick and choose which ones that you need to be at and maybe which are the ones that maybe you don't need to be at. And so some tactics then. This first welcome week, there will be a lot of lost and kind of confused students walking around a brand new campus trying to find their way around. So I always try, if possible, to allow myself a bit longer as I walk around the campus, because usually you get asked questions by people about where a certain building is or which direction they need to go in. And it's nice if I'm not in a rush because I can tell them where they need to go and ask them how they're settling in on their week with us. The other things I do, I try to have a bit of an open door during that first welcome week. So, if students are walking past my office, they can kind of say hello, or they can get their bearings a bit and knock on the office door. It's not open all the time. As I said, I've still got to get on with activities. I've still got research grants I've got to come out. I've got some teaching prep I've got to get done. So, the door will be open during, I guess, the kind of peak times when students are likely to be in our department for these activities. But then I will be kind of scribbling myself away and getting on with activities when they're not necessarily around in the department quite so much. I'll make sure that during this week I stay, and this sounds really silly, but it's really important, I stay hydrated and fed. It's very easy during a very busy welcome week to be running from one activity to the next activity and actually forget to drink something or to eat something. And the queues for coffee shops and the queues for the on-campus cafes will now start to get really busy. We've just had a lovely summer period where there's only been the PhD students and the taught masters on campus alongside the researchers and the academic staff. So, all the kind of campus outlets, the coffee shops, the restaurants, those had quite short queues during that kind of period. But now with this influx of students, the campus goes back to being really, really busy. So I try not to rely on going anywhere to buy my lunch. I try to be more organised and actually make some food, go into work with a bottle of water to make sure that I'm going to stay hydrated. Otherwise, as I said, it's just too easy to run from thing to thing to thing to thing and never actually pause to take a drink or get some food. I tend to try to keep a little notebook on me during welcome week so that if I am passing somebody in a corridor or something gets mentioned quickly, I can make a note of it if I need to. Sometimes there's little things you have to organise, like groups for laboratories or how people are going to be divided into particular activities. And yeah, having a laptop's great, but sometimes having a notebook and a pen and paper is easier. I don't make it a personal mission to memorise every student name in that first week. The likelihood is you're going to meet a lot of new students coming through. Obviously, I make sure that I know who my personal tutees are, but I think it's very difficult to try to remember all those new names and faces if you haven't been involved in the admissions cycle. You're meeting a lot of people who are new to you for the very first time. And most universities will actually have student records where you can actually look up the students, see the names of the cohort. So there's still time, to get people's names. And I also make a point, if I am getting somebody's names, to try to make sure I'm getting their correct pronunciation. And again, that can be a lot to take in on that first week. Very important with my tutees. I want to make sure that I'm pronouncing their names correctly. And then as the semester goes on and I encounter more and more students, I kind of just build up my knowledge of the student names of that new cohort. But it can be busy this first week. I've been looking at my timetable and there's not a lot of downtime. I am going from one activity to the next activity. And as I said, they're not all to do with welcome week. And so I don't try to go to every single event or feel guilty if I can't go to every single event. I go to as many as I can. The ones that I need to be at, I make sure I prioritise. And then I kind of look at the balance of my week and make sure I'm going to get all my other activities done as well. Let me know. Have you got a welcome week coming up? Do you do activities for your new incoming year? Do you call them fresher students? Do you call them, well, I don't know, welcoming students? How does it work on your campus? Do you have to go to activities if you're a lecturer? Do you try to hide and avoid the new intake coming in? Let me know in the comments. As always, it's lovely to hear what you're saying in the comments. There's some great suggestions and comments coming in at the moment. If you're new to our space, please do think about subscribing. I post a little weekly video on all things academic every Monday. So join the academic conversation, have a really good week, and I'll see you next Monday for another academic video. Bye.